Hello everyone, I hope you're all having an awesome day today, and in this video we're going to be talking about Marvel and DC. Both of these franchises have been competing against each other for years in comics and movies, all sorts of media. Both of them really skyrocketed in the late 30s, and since then, there's been a lot of copying one another. And in some cases, the one that copied the other would become a more popular character. And it's not just character, it's ideas as well. So we're going to figure out which one copied which by which one came out first, and a lot of them are very close, like they came out less than a year apart, whether their first appearance was in comics or whatever. Now we're going to start with some ones that Marvel copied from DC. Starting in no particular order, Deadpool was copied off of Deathstroke. You might not know, but they also made a character called Sentry, which closely resembles Superman. Mr. Fantastic was stolen from Plastic Man. The idea of Jarvis was basically like Alfred Pennyworth. Black Cat is way too similar for Catwoman to not be suspicious, and Spider-Man actually didn't come out into the 60s, and they already had Blue Beetle comics, with Blue Beetle being a pretty similar character if you stop and think about it. Doctor Strange was definitely copied off of Dr. Fate. Vision was copied from Red Tornado. Ant-Man was copied from Atom, although Ant-Man can grow too, so at least they added something there. Hawkeye was copied from Green Arrow. The Avengers were copied from the Justice League. Yes, the Justice League came first, and the Avengers came not that long after. The idea of a team up though was definitely a right direction to go for both franchises. And lastly, we have a villain. Thanos was copied off of Darkseid, and they've actually admitted to taking inspiration from it. That's as far as they'll go to admitting they stole or copied something. It's so obvious that they'll even say they took inspiration from it. When we go back to team-ups too, the Crisis on Infinite Earths and the Avengers Secret Wars actually came out around the same time. But if you're wondering, the multiverse first appeared in fiction in the Flash of Two Worlds comic from the early 60s. And Marvel started doing the multiverse not long after in comics, and now it's been a recent thing in films. DC also made Flash before they made Quicksilver, but I wasn't exactly sure if Quicksilver was a copy of the Flash, because I feel like every superhero franchise has to have a quick person. So I don't know if that one exactly counts, because that'd be saying like Dash from The Incredibles copied the Flash, or Sonic the Hedgehog copied the Flash. Now we're going to move on to some of the times that DC copied Marvel. Starting off, Aquaman was actually copied from Namor, and Cyborg was copied from Deathlock. And those two are cases where I think the DC characters became way more famous, so the ones that copied actually made a more popular character and benefited from it. Swamp Thing was actually copied from Man-Thing. DC literally made a character called Fire that was a ripoff of Human Torch. Rocket Red was copied from Iron Man. Guardian was copied from Captain America. Zatanna Zatara was copied from Scarlet Witch. The Atomic Skull was copied from Ghost Rider. They also made a character called Imperiex, which is obviously copied from Galactus. They even ripped off Silver Surfer with a character called Black Racer. Now here's the most interesting one of all. If you look at the character Bucky from Marvel, when he was originally introduced in comics, it was obviously a ripoff of Robin because they wanted to have sidekicks in the comics, and he even just kind of resembled him. So there was the idea of having a teenage sidekick, but later on, DC actually flipped the switch, got their revenge, because of what Marvel did with Bucky. They later turned him into the Winter Soldier after an apparent death, and DC kind of did the exact same thing with Red Hood, which was the Jason Todd Robin, and so it was just very similar. But anyways, that was quite a few of them, but there are still a ton more, and if there's any you noticed I missed, just let me know in the comment section down below. Which one do you prefer, Marvel or DC? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.